It's gonna get to that point. It's not always gonna be, lovey-dovey and let's hold hands and smile and look into each other's eyes with hearts coming out. It's not always gonna be that way. Sometimes there's real dislike towards one another. But it was the frustration. It's not that I disliked her. It was the situations I was in, making a bigger deal out of things that really didn't mean anything. Welcome to another episode of Mindset Mastery. I am your host, AZ Araujo, and I want to thank you for joining me today. Man, I got a lot to talk about. What an unbelievable week. And when I say that, it's not because everything went well. It was just a big roller coaster of emotions. And I'm not sure if you're feeling the same way, but I want to go ahead and share what I've been feeling, right? Just last week, we put these big goals and ambitions together about what we were going to create for 2021. And when we're in that space, we're thinking, this is all possible. It's going to be the greatest year ever. Things are going to go our way. This is going to be the breakthrough year. Thank you, right? We start looking at all the positives. And I was riding on this high through the weekend. In fact, in my 12-week target book, I couldn't wait to start it for the first week of January. So I started on Saturday. I mean, we don't create these until to be started until that Monday. I decided to start mine Saturday. I was just on a high. I was feeling so good. I was just looking forward to all the big things that I'm going to create this year. And and almost immediately, I started feeling this resistance. I started feeling overwhelmed about what I do have to create. I started thinking about how am I going to repeat what I did last year? I mean, these goals are huge. Not only is it going to take for me to at least create what I did last year, but also, go far beyond it. And as I started reviewing my targets of what I want to do for my health, what I wanted to do for my business, what I want to do for, just my marriage and just every aspect of my life, I start feeling this intense pressure. And, and I think it was triggered by a few things that just didn't go right. It's not because, I'm scared of the goal. It's not because I'm scared of the target. When I was in that place, I saw it vividly in my mind. But I think there's certain things that trigger you to question yourself when things don't go right. And I was right in that situation. I was feeling good, and all of a sudden there's something that didn't go my way. And, it really started to wear on me, and I became very overwhelmed, and I wrote a little something here in my book. And it started on Tuesday because on Monday, I came in and we had this great mindset mastery about, lining up and do what the players do. Every day they start the same way, and that gives you an opportunity to at least line up with them, right? And of course, if they happen to shoot past you and go away up front, it doesn't matter. The next day, they have to line up the same way. So I had this incredible mindset mastery. I'm still feeling the fire within my soul. And then the next day, it was something completely different. I came in for my 12-week target book, and I was fired up. We had the first live training that we've had in quite a while here at the office. And I'm reading through it, and I discovered these big mistakes in my 12-week target book. And this is the thing that I've been spending months on. I've read and reread and marked and sent it up for to be edited and making sure that we had everything in line. The last thing I want is an error in this book. And right before we go to publish it, we make some changes, and some things weren't caught. And to me, I'm like, how the hell did this happen? So I'm triggered by the mistakes that, of the art of the thing that I spent so much time on, countless hours revising, and it goes and we make a mistake. It's a mistake that, it could have been avoided, but wasn't, but it was all on me. I started thinking about, I should have read it one more time after we made the changes, and I avoided it because it was too much time. I already took too much time to create this thing. I needed to get it out. But it would have taken me 30 minutes, but I avoided it. And I looked through the book, and there's that mistake, and I'm like, damn it. So that's weighing on me now. And then I start thinking about my daughter, right? My daughter, we decided that we're going to buy her a car. She's going to be 16 here pretty soon. 16. And she's excited. She's a great human being. I love her to death. And we start looking at the different vehicles. And we settle on this vehicle, and then I start thinking, do we really want to buy this type of car, her first car? And it's about 30 times more than what I paid for my car, right? When I was 16 years old. I remember I had to work my butt off to save $2,000. It was actually $1,500. To save $1,500. My aunt, she was just a gem in my life. She offered, if I can save $1,500, I will come in with $500. And I spent the whole summer working, doing whatever I could at 15 years old. I even lied on my first job application as a busboy at a restaurant, right? To save the tips so that I can get my first car. And here we are shopping for a vehicle for my daughter, and I'm thinking, am I doing the right thing? Does she really need a car like this? I work my ass off. She hasn't. Am I doing the right thing as a parent? Like, it's amazing where your mind just decides to go, right? But it was triggered by one thing, and then you start questioning other things. I'm finding myself like, this car is too expensive. Like, what are we doing? What are we thinking? Am I teaching her responsibility? Am I raising an entitled child? Does she know what hard work is? And I start questioning it, right? At first, I was so excited. I was elated to be in a position where I can actually do this. I've worked my ass off to be able to provide for my children so they don't have to start where I started. And now I'm questioning that. Like, she has to go through the whole process that I went through. What am I thinking here, right? There's other ways to be able to teach responsibility and work ethic. And she has it to the core. She's a hardworking young lady. She's committed. She's respectful. She's not entitled. She's not bratty. She has a warm heart, a big heart. She volunteers. She goes to Mexico and goes to an orphanage to volunteer. Like, I'm raising an incredible human being. She was blessed with so much. What am I trying to do here? But again, things don't go the way you want them. All of a sudden, we start questioning ourselves, right? So I got this 12-week Target book. I have this Jeep that I'm wanting to buy my daughter. And then Carla and I get into a disagreement. Like, we're only 3 days into the new year, the first week of the new year. What the hell is going on? Like, nothing looks like what I wrote in my damn book. Nothing looks like what I wrote in my book. And I'm not even on track to be able to accomplish those big goals. At least that's what's going on through my mind. So Carla and I get into a disagreement. And it gets to a point where we're like, don't even want to be around each other. So here's this vehicle that we were going to buy my daughter. I've been researching it for a week. It's a great opportunity, good price. We're going to go get it. But then I have an attitude, right? I don't even want to be around her. She doesn't want to be around me. So we don't go that day. I called the dealership. We were supposed to go. We didn't go that day. And, I wanted to sit in a place where I wanted to blame, right? But it had nothing to do with her. I was already frustrated with other things. And in fact, there was another thing that was deeply rooted within me that was bothering me. I agreed to this speaking engagement, right? Where I have to fly out on Friday. And then I start questioning myself, like, why did I make this commitment? I'm right in the middle of Ironman 70.3 training. What the hell am I doing trying to fly out? What am I going to talk about? Like, what should I even say? Like, these are the things that are now in part of my mind. Everything is now a burden. As opposed to seeing the great opportunities, as opposed to being felt blessed for being called out to go and impact men that need to hear my story, I'm now making it a burden. As opposed to feeling the joy of being able to provide for my daughters, I now feel the burden. As opposed to saying this book is a life changer, I'm now focused on two things that really don't matter. I'm feeling the burden. The burden of the pressure. The burden of the things that I need to create for 2021. It's real. It's heavy. So Carla and I are not talking, right? Next day, we're like, okay, we're at least amicable. We're at least within distance without being repulsed by one another. I don't know if you've ever been in that situation, but hey, we've been married, 18 years, 17 years. It's going to get to that point. It's not always going to be, lovey-dovey and let's hold hands and smile and look into each other's eyes with hearts coming out. It's not always going to be that way. Sometimes there's real dislike towards one another. But it was the frustration. It's not that I disliked her. It was the situations I was in, making a bigger deal out of things that really didn't mean anything. In fact, they were all blessings for me. This book is a blessing. My ability to buy a vehicle for my daughter is a blessing. Me being invited to go speak is a blessing. Why am I making a burden of all this? So, again, I'm still in this mindset, feeling overwhelmed, and I even wrote this down. I put, the pressure is real. I'm feeling off my game. I'm overwhelmed by everything, but yet not anything specifically. Have you ever felt that way? Where it just seemed like everything is a burden. Everything is just overwhelming you. And I put, I'm overwhelmed by everything, but yet not anything specifically. I'm thinking there should be massive changes to a point nothing is happening. Again, the overall pressure is I needed to live up to what I put down in this book. I need to live up to the person I said I was going to become. But like with anything, for any action, there's an opposite and equal reaction. It's part of the game. Are you able to navigate through that pressure? Are you able to do that? Because most would just break. Most would just give up. Even though I was feeling this immense pressure, I stayed on point with what I was supposed to do. I stayed on point with my 12-week targets, even though I wasn't feeling in power. And it's real. The pressure to perform is real. So we go to this dealership the next day. And I go drive in, and I park in front of the very vehicle that I've had my eye on for the last week. And here comes a salesman. I mean, I wouldn't have believed it if I didn't see it with my own eyes. Have you ever been in that situation when you're going to a dealership and they say, oh, it just sold? And I'm like, you're right. You're lying. You just wanted me to get here so you can sell me something else. If I would have never seen it with my own eyes, I would not have believed it. As soon as we park, I go, that's the one we're gonna buy. And sure enough, here comes this guy in a tie, salesman, and has this sign that says sold. He walks right in, puts it in there, and then drives away with it. I'm like, are you kidding me? So what is the first thing you do when there's a disappointment? And in my case, I blame. It's not my fault. It's somebody else's fault, right? My thought is not, things are always supposed to be the way they are and, it happened for a reason. That's not my initial thought. After sitting in certain situations, then I get to believe that. But internally, my DNA is made up of the fact that I blame first and foremost. I'm trying to work on that, but that's just who I am. I blame first and foremost. I try. I really do. It's something that I know is a fault in the way I approach certain things, but I feel better when I blame for some reason. Even though it sometimes creates more chaos in my life, bigger arguments, my thing is to blame. So I'm seething in this place. I'm brewing. Again, it was supposed to be a special moment. I have my daughters in the back seat. Me and Carla are there. And this was supposed to be a wonderful moment for my daughter. And there goes the car and drives off. And of course, I'm like, look, I'm thinking, I didn't say anything. But, I'm trying to blame, I want to blame Carla so bad. I'm like biting my tongue because I know. If I say anything, she will not hold back. If you know Carla, she will not just sit there and take it. So I blamed. I blamed in my mind. I blamed. And I'm sure I had this energy that wasn't friendly. I'm sure I didn't say but a few words on my way back. But then I began to realize it had nothing to do with losing that Jeep, that vehicle. It had nothing to do with the 12-week target book. It had nothing to do with, just, that speaking engagement. It had nothing to do with any of that. It had to do with the fact that I want more. I proclaimed it. And this was a test. Like all those little challenges. And they're not even big challenges. I have my health. I have my family. I have my business. It's not even a big challenge. But when you ask for something greater, you're going to feel the resistance almost immediately. For every action, there's an opposite and equal reaction, trying to throw you off your game so that you're able to just go back to the normal, to what you do normally, to go back to your lowest form of habit, to do the things you usually do to sabotage your growth. That's all that's happening. And these are the challenges I'm prepared for. These are the challenges that will not knock me off my game, but I have to understand that in order to create what I wrote down, in order to create what I envisioned, I can't make mountains out of molehills. I'm blessed to be in this situation. I've done the work. I've done the reps. Why do I tend to forget at the moment there is pressure? I wrote these things down because it is my reality. This business is going to get where it needs to get because I envisioned it. I saw it. It was a vision in my mind. And all these pressures, and not to mention, of course, all the pressures of putting this building together. We're only about 6 weeks away from moving into HQ. And I'm seeing the expenses rack up, and I'm like, oh, damn. And it's insane. Because these little situations now bleed themselves into other things. Did I really think this through? Did I really need such a big building? What if something happens to the economy? What if, things start, tanking? Then I read this is insane how things work. Then I read this article about, Bitcoin. And I'm like, why didn't I invest in Bitcoin? And I'm feeling the pressure of not making the right decisions on things I had nothing or know anything about. Just putting more pressure on me of how I'm coming up short. And that's what it really comes down to. My mind trying to feed me lies of how I'm not good enough. And it bleeds to other things. Now everything's affected me. And it goes back to what I wrote. The pressure is real. I'm feeling off my game. I'm overwhelmed by everything, but yet not anything specifically. But one of the things that I learned now, one of the things that I've conditioned myself to is to realize that when I'm feeling this way, I can make things a lot worse. I can make things a whole lot worse. I've been in that situation. But it's realizing this is all part of the game. And it's realizing that there's a season, there's a reason. And when you decide to grow, everything's going to feel like it's against you. Your job, my job, is just to keep going. As simple as it sounds. I stuck with my game plan every day because I could have held on to all this. I could have made the disagreement between Carla and I a whole lot worse. I could have said something to my team here to make things a whole lot worse. But instead, I just kept on. Even though I was feeling all these emotions with it, I kept journaling. I kept writing my feelings. And I wrote, I'm feeling a little overwhelmed and unaccomplished. I feel the pressure of not living up to my ambitious goals. I'm getting caught up in the belief that I have not built anything significant. Do you see where your mind can lead to? Is this true? No, it's not. Absolutely not. So I'm going through this Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And here's what I wrote Thursday. Thursday, after I rode my bike and I did a leg workout and a back workout. I did I listened to 2 episodes of this sermon that I listened to on my podcast. I created a Badass Agents episode. I had someone come in. I had Rio Vidrio come in, and we shine light on him. And I wrote in my I am affirmations, which is a part here in the 12-week target book, I put, I am human. I am not invincible, but I will keep going. I will not quit. And it just gave me permission to understand that, yes, I have these big ambitious goals, but it doesn't mean that I'm free from feeling the pressure. I am human. I too get thrown off my game. I too feel overwhelmed. But not to the point where I quit. And that is the difference. And I wrote, it's amazing how I can bounce back. Yesterday I was feeling overwhelmed by everything, yet nothing at all. Today, it started with a 40-minute ride, then a 1 hour in the gym. And then I started writing down about how proud I am of the people that I'm surrounded by. And I'll just read it. I was happy to see Roger show up. He is good energy and warmed my soul. I showed up and had over 50 live viewers for my interview with Rio. So proud of that dude. We killed it. I am committed to 1 a week. The next episode will be with this another agent. What a great day. I feel like the momentum is building tomorrow. I will be focused on the task at hand. The bounce back. The pressure is real, but it's the bounce back. There's so many things that I could have done to really sabotage my overall growth. I could have thrown away 3 or 4 days. And even though I wasn't in my power for ridiculous things, nothing there was really that bad, right? You may be looking at him saying, AZ, you're better than this, dude. Like, what's going on? Listen, when you're in your head, it doesn't matter what anyone says. You're in your head. But I create a little bit of chaos at home. I create a little chaos in my marriage. I create a little bit of chaos in a business. I was overwhelmed. I was feeling not worthy enough to a point I haven't built anything significant. Like, what is that? What the hell did that come from? To a point where I'm thinking I should have invested in Bitcoin. Like, where did that come from? But I was just finding ways. I was trying to find evidence of how I am not good enough, how I don't make the right decisions, because maybe I was feeling too good. My goals are big. I better make things difficult for myself. I'm in a position where I could buy my daughter her first car. How about I enjoy that? As opposed to feeling the guilt of it all. Or questioning my own parenting skills. She's a hard worker. She sees me. She has good mentors. She understands. This 12-week target book is game-changing. It's life-changing. I'll just skip the part where their mistakes are. No big deal. And if somebody can't get past that, it's not on me. You just don't want to do the work. So understand that the pressure is on. But we can make a lot of things worse if we just paralyze ourselves. Will there be moments of hesitation? Absolutely. Absolutely. But it's understanding that it's your job to keep going. And that reason or that season will pass. I'm feeling elated this week. I'm owning the fact that, I put all this on myself. I am still training for the Ironman 70.3, and I'm going to go hard. I do have to go speak and fly out of town and come back and hopefully be here on time to take my daughter the next day to her volleyball tournament. I brought it upon myself, so why am I complaining about it? This is what I wanted, and this is what it's going to take to get to that next level. It doesn't come from the sheer fact that I want it. I need to understand and build the capacity to be able to do it. And if I can't handle all this right now, good luck. If I can't take the pressure, there's no way I'm going to get what I want and what I desire. I wrote Sunday, I am happy. I am exactly where I need to be to dominate my life. I am blessed and I can do anything. The I am affirmations in this 12-week target book has been a good asset, a good thing that makes me reflect and remind myself of what I'm capable of. But all that happened the last 7 days. So now I'm thinking like, holy shit, like what's going to happen the next 7 days? I still have 350 some days left to the year, 340 something days left to the year. Like, where am I going to go? But I need to be able to handle this before I can handle that. So I'm on my game. The pressure is on and I'm moving forward. Let's go ahead and let's read some comments. If there was anything that resonated with you, please share it with me. How is this similar in your life? Or what have you done in the past to navigate your way out of it? But it's amazing how we're able to make mountains out of molehills when the pressure is really on. Like all the other stuff that was going on in my life really is nothing. Me flying out to California, like I should enjoy that, but it's not a burden. But when things don't go your way, when you commit to growth and then the pressure's on, we start questioning like, why did I even do this? But I want to go to Megan. I truly appreciate you sharing your deepest personal experiences. It's a great reminder that everyone deals with similar situations or experiences. A great reminder that we are all human. We are. And it's when we don't think that others go through this is what makes it very difficult. But we're all very human. We all have the feelings. And, to a point where I was just like, I haven't built anything great. I'm like, what the hell was I thinking? But now I'm able to reflect. Like I need to really appreciate the fact that I'm documenting my life, my journey, my thoughts. I love that. I love this. And I'm glad that when I was in that place, I was able to write down my true feelings. And I can share it with you. Dang, brother, I tend to see you in a different light and to know you're just like me or anyone else that we do falter, but you never quit or give into the circumstance. Much respect, and I appreciate your honest nature. Man, these things truly do happen. And what ends up happening is the only difference of who I was to who I am is I can bounce back quicker. But we all have those demons of doubt, of just bad habits and reactions and, those things that never serve us. We all have it. But it's decided not to make things worse. And this week, I'm just going to handle shit. I'm just going to handle it. And I'm not going to think twice about it. I'm not going to feel the guilt when I purchase my daughter's vehicle. I'm not going to feel the burdens of being able to affect men's life. I'm just going to go out there and pour my soul, my heart and soul into it. And if there's that one person that gets something positive, I'm going to be content with just that. So thank you guys for joining me for another episode of Mindset Mastery. The pressure is real, but it's your job to keep going. Until next time, I will talk to you soon.